This is recruiting 101. Man, let me get that. Let me get that out there. I need that background for me today. I want to say hello to all you guys, all you parents that jumped on last night. My boy Nick Ray Martinez. I hope you feeling better, man. Definitely want to get you. Got to get you involved. Get your people involved. Get you guys a Zoom uh, with California recruits, man, so we can start really going into what's going on in this industry, man. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about a few things. The Division One recruiting calendar. I'm gonna bring up um, a couple of calendars as well, um, so you can see what's going on in the recruiting world as far as timelines are concerned, because a lot of times people are talking to you about timelines or recruiting and they're never giving you timelines on when certain things are happening or can happen. And I want parents more aware. And this one I've done a video on. I'll repost that video and get that video to you guys as well. Um, so you can actually see, um, or hear this again. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about it today, as well as um, I'm gonna go over a little bit of prep schools. I'm gonna talk. I've been asked that question a lot here lately, um, and I want to make sure that people understand, the whole prep school mindset. Prep school is not a just a little. It's not just an easy little thing. People talk about, oh, we just go to prep, but I think prep is a viable. What's up, Sean? Is a viable thing for kids because of where we are today. So I want to make
Prep is a
sure
Bible. What's up, Sean?
uh, make sure that we definitely look at prep, because but I want to give you the ins and outs of prep and what prep, and what that means with prep school, because prep is not, it's not just oh, I'm gonna go to prep school. I mean, I think you really have to be um, a kid that is definitely ready to go to prep school. You're not Prep school is not just for everybody. And a lot of them are Christian, military based. Um, you got to know, like anything else, you got to have a plan for your prep. If you're gonna go to prep as well. So we just want to make sure that I just want to make sure that we are, everybody, we're doing the right thing when we talk about this thing, as far as that is concerned. Also, I talked about 3.0 will get you the dough. Um, Definitely want to continue to keep pushing the kids to get their uh, get their grades. Um, you know, get their grades, um, and how important it is that at a particular GPA, when you start dealing with some of these smaller schools and other things that are going to happen for student athletes now going into some of these Division two or maybe NAIA schools. Your GPA is kind of where that scholarship money is going to start. So we talked a little bit about that on yesterday, and that there it is, and um, that a lot of the monies that people are going to be. What's going on, John Jernigan? Great name. Yeah, man. I know prep is not cheap. John Jernigan is my cousin. I'm Dijon Jernigan. He's John Jernigan, all from the great root word John, which means one who ushers others to safety. My cousin John there. uh, so just want to make sure that as we talk about these things, as we bring these things up, people get a better understanding. So the recruiting calendar, let's talk about that first. So what does the recruiting calendar mean to your college recruiting? Right now, I don't know if a lot of people understand. Ernesto understands that um, understand what the dead period is. And a lot of parents are like, everybody's saying dead period, and what does that mean? So in recruiting, there are recruiting periods and times where coaches can talk to kids. And since we've been in COVID, and I just got a text right now, and I'll tell you, it is from Florida Atlantic University. I'll tell you that, FAU. And I just got this text that from compliance. It says, hello all. Uh, Attached is an email from COVID-19 question answer guide and answer chart. This is about recruiting. Okay. It says question and answer guide or highlight updates the action chart. As a reminder, due to COVID-19, the temporary recruiting period being extended through April 15th, 2021, we are not permitted to engage in any on or off field or off campus contact with PSAs, even PSAs that have signed an NLI, GIA, or paid admission deposit. Also, please keep in mind that you are not permitted to have on or off campus contact with any high school, prep school, club, or 2-year college coach or any individual associated with a PSA during COVID-19 temporary recruiting dead period as well. They are also not permitted to attend practice sessions unless the practice session is open to the general public. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you. So um, that that is letting you know anything you do, outside of that, you hear that, hey, it is what it is. Uh, um, these coaches are, hey, mother, these coaches are doing their very best to, or schools doing their very best to try to recruit these kids. So that's why we've been telling kids Twitter, tag, do what you got to do. They cannot have contact with you on or off school. You can't do it at this particular time. So the recruiting calendar says April 15th. So what does that mean? Let me share with you guys what that means for you, for us as in the recruiting world. Okay. So right now, what you're looking at, let me get a better view of it. Maybe I can blow it up, zoom in, boom. Can I zoom in a little bit more? I think that's all right. I think so. Somebody tell me to zoom in again, I will. But so what you see right now is the recruiting calendar, football championship, subdivision, whatever, 2021 recruiting calendar, 20 to 2021 recruiting calendar. Here we are today, the 27th of January. Normally, we would be in contact period. Contact period is the period of time when it is permissible for authorized athletics department staff members to make in-person off-campus recruiting contacts and evaluations. We're not. We are in what is called dead period. So it's red. The dead period is the period of time when it is not permissible to make in-person recruiting contacts or evaluations on or off the member's institution, campus, or to permit official or unofficial visits by prospective student athletes. That's the PSA, to the institution's campus. So right now, all the way to right here, why we've been talking about signing up with a service, getting with somebody that might be able to represent your student athlete and make sure your information is getting to these schools, is because it is going to be dead January, February, March till April 15th. And if these numbers don't change with COVID, the evaluation period or the dead period will be extended some more, and we won't get to evaluation period, which in this month of April and May, if you see, this is when they would normally come out and talk to your student athlete about, you know, start their recruiting process for the next class, the 2022 class. This is why not playing football in California has been so detrimental because look, if you go back up here, had we been playing last year in September, October, it would have been evaluation period. They would have been able to come out to Friday night games. We'd have got to December, we'd have got to that signing period, and then they would have went dead, and then they would have been able to come out right now. And then as you see in February signing day here in the red, they would have been dead again. And then they would have went to the quiet period. And the quiet period is to take that time that you had from watching the student athletes play is to start evaluating those players, putting the information together. So when you get to April, you can go out now and start talking to those guys or visiting their spring practice and go from there. So that's why this is so detriment to the recruiting period of the class of 2022 because we didn't do anything up here and 21 because the 21s would have played along with the 22 and we would have got here and we would have had kids sign. It's not. Now they're moving into April. By April and them extending the signing period till somewhere in May, what you get is that all these teams are pretty much filled. And so your NAIA schools, your NAIA schools, your Division II schools, there are already a lot of your schools are starting, or 1AAs are starting to move forward because they got to get ready for the 22 class. And so here you are right now. So when we get here, the hope is that kids are back in school, something is happening because evaluation period starts on the campus of a high school. They go to spring ball, they do this. Well, imagine if you're still online, where are they gonna go? Go up to the school for what? Nobody's there, nobody's practicing. So this is where the let them plays and everybody's getting in an uproar about the 22s because if we're not back by here, there's nobody to evaluate. So now we get through June. Now June becomes the quiet period, but quiet period doesn't mean exactly what you think it means. It's usually camp season for everyone. So camp season, this is when we would normally go to Redlands and to on campus, and this is when kids are early committing and going up to visit schools and going there. If none of this stuff is happening, this becomes really tough. But I want to share with you the normalcy of what would be going on during a recruiting calendar. Here at California Recruits, this is what we use. We follow exactly where we know when can the coaches come out, when can they come and talk. Very important day here, September 1st of your senior year, evaluation period. This is why you start getting edits over here. This is where you start talking to coaches, early signing period. Boom, here we are here, down here. So this information definitely is good information for you to be found. You can find it. Let me go back to it. You can find it on the ncaa.org website. Just got to kind of know what you're reading. Okay. But right now, this is what our target date is right now, is that we're hoping that April 15th, we're going to be able to get evaluated or at least start going back on college visits to these colleges and universities for these student athletes. Now, what's different is, and we can go to it. What's different, if you look, is the D2 calendar. It's a little bit different. The timeline is different. So when we look at the D2 calendar, they're still April 15th, but they're in contact period right now. But it's dead for all the NCAA. It's dead for everybody. Now they get a little bit more lenient time in March to evaluate, and then they would go in here. But this is their calendar. And you can find all those calendars on the website. You just kind of got to know what's going on. You got basketball, women's basketball, cross country, golf, lacrosse. So everybody has a recruiting time and period that they can go on. But when we talk about football, very important you know that, because when people try to throw camps, when people try to just throw camps and they tell, oh yeah, college so and so is going to be there, so and so is going to be there. You have to ask them, really, are they going to be there? Because it's a dead period. How would they be coming there? Derek, who just offered your cousin a scholarship? Um, so it would go back to how are they going to be at that camp if I know? So mom and dad, when you're filling out camp information, that's the stuff that you want to know. You want to make sure that something says these colleges are going to be there, and they're trying to, people use the term, it's a money grab. Well, that's one of the reasons you go to the ncaa.org site, you put in recruiting calendar in the search box, pull up and say, well, coach, before I pay this $100 or $200 for this camp, you're telling me these colleges are going to be there, but these colleges are, it's a dead period. So you want to make sure that you know what dead period is and what it's not. Okay. Yep. So you want to know what the dead period is and what it's not. I get interrupted right there. What's up, B? So you want to definitely know what those. Oh, Florida Atlantic. That's awesome. That's awesome. What position he played, my buddy? And congratulations to him, Mike Johnson, man. Great dude, wide receiver coach. Worked my son out when he was at the University of Oregon. He just became the offensive coordinator at FAU with Coach Willie Taggart. He's a new offensive coordinator at FAU. So excited for Mike. So she said, my son, wow. She said, my son has this idea that camps don't make a big difference. Are they important because college recruits attend them? Camps are everything. I mean, oh, that's cool. That's good. Camps, if camps weren't anything, they wouldn't be on the questionnaire. They wouldn't be a thing that coaches ask, have you been to that camp? Again, they pull information from those camps every time a student athlete attends a camp. When you look at, I think you can look at NCSA or any of these other companies. You want to go to a camp because camps, they do something at certain camps. It's called verified ID or verified. Yeah, verified. Well, college recruiters do look at verified speeds and different things that come from camps. So if you look at I'm going to go to student sports, and when you look at these certain things, I mean people, these camps are why when you go to these camps, these camps are, it's the stuff that's at the camps that where that information is put out. So it's kind of tough. Kind of tough to say that they don't, for people saying that they don't matter or don't think that they matter. They matter. It's because it's where they get all their information from. Okay. I can tell you, I'll give you an example of why a camp matters, right? Give you some privy information that goes to colleges, and I'll do it really, really quick so people don't. And I'll show you. So I work with a number of different companies, but here's one I work with. When you say camps don't matter, National Preps has a camp that they sell their information to a number of different colleges and universities. And I'll show you when they sell, they work for half of the Pac-12, all of the Mountain West, all of the Big Sky. When kids come to those camps, they are giving their information. So by me working with them and having a recruiting service, I will show you what goes, and you say it don't matter. It is exactly what gets to a college. Okay, exactly what gets to a college coach as far as information and everything. Okay, um, so yeah, it's loading up right now, and when it does, I'll share it with you, um, and share with you and show you what goes. These college coaches are buying from recruiting services, and not the hookup, not the hookup offer or whatever. It's an actual uh, form of everything that they're buying. There it is. Mark Perry said my kid got 100% offer from Boise State, which is good, right? So I'm gonna condense this a little bit. Yeah, there's just a lot of information on here. Okay, so share my screen. Something that you guys usually don't get to see. Um, well, I get to do it. So this is National Preps Fresno. This is all the names of every kid that was at that camp in Fresno. Well, actually, this is part of it because these are the top performers at that camp. Okay. So when you look at that, this is what comes across there. This is his actual height, wingspan, GPA, right? And if you click here, it'll show me who this kid is. This is his locker. And in his locker, it'll actually show you who he is. And if he had video, it will show me video. This is what colleges get. So I can tell you right now, yeah, I don't know where it went. I can tell you right now, camps mean everything, especially when these guys work for when they work for those particular camps. Okay, so yeah, athletes should clearly go out of state to camps if they want to go to school in that particular area. I will be telling kids that they like high academic kids that want to go to do college actually look at it, they buy that. They buy that. They buy that particular list. Let me here it is again. Um they actually buy these lists. The companies are selling this particular list all day. Let me find a kid that worked out. It's always easier if I do my kids so nobody says anything to me. So my son was there. There's my kid, Ian Jernigan. He was there. He was in Reno and he was in Fresno. Bam. Here he is. Here's the clips. This is what colleges get. When you sell this information, this is what you guys are paying for to go to the camp. And this is what they see. And then they see another clip. And they say, okay, what was he doing here? You say, do they look at it? He got offered by Colorado right after the camp. There it is. And they put this stuff up. Boom. So this is the stuff that they send out. Then you view evaluation. Bam. Height, he's 5'9.5". I don't know where that came from. 190, wingspan, boom. All the information. There's my name, my phone number, high school, boom. This is what they get. So depending on what camp you go to, yeah, you can be at the right camp for you to get that information. I do put out a list of camps that are coming up, but because of COVID, there's a lot of different stuff that are going on. So I will tell you that um, um, yep, Travell Jackson. I will call you after this, Travell. I said 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but I was getting on live. You won't beat me up. I know you won't. You know what's going on. I will put it out, but I will tell you coming up very, very soon. If not by the end of the week, by early next week, the very first camp is April National Maximum Potential. It's going to have a high school combine for California kids in Bullhead City inside the stadium, all being filmed and live streamed to college coaches. Just like that information was set up and filmed, every kid will be given that, and that camp will yeah, every kid will be given film like that in their locker. Uh, in their locker. I know. I will say that, and those are my friends. I love Gary Howard and those guys. I'm gonna go to Twitter here real quick and look at because they have a camp coming up on the. They have a camp coming up on oh my God, the 31st. I think it's this weekend. You know, yeah, I think it's this weekend, and I don't know if it's closed yet or whatever. Yeah, here it is. Prep showcases. Boom. Yeah, they got one going to San Diego, and it's exactly. Man, I'm sharing my screen a lot today. Um, it's exactly so. If you guys want to go, follow them on Twitter. It's at MP Showcases. Um, MP Showcases MP Showcases on Twitter, and then this is how you find their. It's the best way to find their camp website, and you go here and you go to the Collegiate Showcase, and then you can register for a showcase. So I don't want to register. I've done two already. So you got Vacaville. That was one. So here, oh, these were past ones sold out. Fresno, November. So up and coming ones right now. Saturday, that was sold out. Oh, the 31st at you can register right here at the Town Center Community Park in Santee, California. And then they have one all the way in March. They're talking about doing in Arizona. Sacramento is going to be March. Oklahoma, April 24th, April 11th. Central California again. They want to come back in April, and then in May, and then May in Colorado. So here are all the conferences they work with. So all that information gets sent. They have 6 of Pac-12. They have Conference USA, Big Ten. They have a number of conferences they work with in getting your information out. So I'm a recruiting service, but great friends of mine, guys, I try to work, with everybody because they know people I don't know, and I know people they don't talk to. So you can go to it on Twitter. Again, let me go to Twitter and copy that and put that in the feed so you guys can have it. Always looking to help somebody out. So, I gotta stop sharing my screen. uh, Bam. All right. Uh, so Ray, and then Ray, any of you guys that want to get in, I know Trent very well. Another guy on Twitter you want to be able to follow, who actually runs the camp if you have a ton of kids. Um, and he'll definitely start working with you. Shoot, I'm gonna share again. Man, I'm sharing my stuff, giving away my stuff today. All for the children, man. All for the children. You want to follow this guy right here, Trent Hirschhog. So, um, you don't know who Trent is? There he is, Coach Trent. It is he's National Preps director, scout for NorCal, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. He's somebody you definitely want to know. Go follow him on there. Tell him Dejan sent you. Paul Gregorian is another guy you want to follow. P. And then Jordan. Jordan is another national preps guy you want to follow as well. So want to get your kids invited. If you have kids that need to get invited, I know Miss Sandra, I am making sure your son is going today. I gotta leave myself a note for that. I would be doing that as well. So yep, just wanted to make sure we talk about that. Um, and so while on that subject, I want to also talk about how do we choose camps and combines? Combining the two, um, and combining, you know what, Crump, you something else. In combining the two, um, how do I choose camps and combines? Choose those camps and combines that are like right now because of COVID. You definitely want to choose stuff that they're going to be filming. National Preps is going to be filming, right? They're going to film. You saw this is what they do. They film. Um, if you're not ready, what I would tell a parent right now, if your kid has not been working out and training, do not have them go to camp. Okay. If you want the drills, I can tell you the drills by position. I can send drills out to you on what you're going to do there. You want to do as much perfecting of that drill before you go. So the reason why a lot of guys, and I'll go back to Anthony Brown's statement, a lot of guys won't pay for a trainer, but they'll pay for the camp. Well, I would say 95, 99% of my kids that train and work out with me have done really well at the camp because we know the drills that they're going to do. We know the L drill. We know they're going to do shuttle. We know how to practice our starts for our 40 and where to swing our hand and stay low. Those are things you want to do because you want good scores. You are, other than that, and being in sales many years, you become nothing but a name on a piece of paper if you don't have good stats next to it. So prior to the camp, if you can't go this Saturday, you want to go. You want to go to camp and do what you need to do. Miss Harris, you're gonna ask the guy who just put club football in Bullhead, is club football a good idea? Absolutely. So I am the co-founder, co-owner of the MP Elite League. Absolutely. We did this league because film is absolutely necessary to a student athlete's recruiting. So part of the reason of that league is because if we don't have film, we can't, there's nothing for us to do. That's why I'm telling you with these camps, if they're not filming, if they're not filming at every station, if they're not doing that at the, and that's something you want to know. Okay, if you're not filming, can I get close enough to film my kid? Because there's no need for my kid to come to your camp if my kid can't go to your camp and be filmed. And then what information are you sending out? Camps are camps. When we run a camp, everything that we do is going to be connected to recruiting. So you do not want to go, you do not want to be a part of something that's not connected to recruiting. You do not want to be a part of something that just says, oh, we're playing, we're going to this. Okay, what's the outcome? I have a new thing is what does it equal? You got a trainer, what does it equal? Is your trainer helping you with recruiting? No. Then you need to be with you need to be training, and then you probably need to be with a service. Oh, okay. I'm playing 7-on-7. Is my 7-on-7 team connected to a recruiting service? All club teams, if you're playing club, is it connected? Club volleyball, club softball, club volleyball, softball, baseball, soccer, they're all connected to some type of recruiting service. They're not playing there just to play. And for too long, football has hung around the mindset of, if you're good, they're going to find you. And if I go to this high school, it means this. And it doesn't. It means that I need to be doing all the things that help me, that's going to help me with recruiting. So if I'm doing something with a trainer, the trainer, because I go to that trainer doesn't mean I'm going to be recruited. Is that trainer helping you with your social media presence? That trainer helping you with the process of knowing when and what camps to go through, what camps to go to? Is that trainer helping you? Do you have a tutor that's helping you with your GPA? You can pour money into all these other places, but when it comes to a service, a lot of people starts getting leery. Well, you pay for this. The service is a part of helping guide you through what you need to be guided to, so you can understand better of what the process is. We talked a little bit last night on our recruiting Zoom showcase or recruiting workshop, and during that workshop, one of the things we talked about is understanding, and I'll go over that with you guys. Understanding who's on a particular list. Because my friend Kyrie Crump is on here, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this for you guys and show you guys here from 24/7 Sports, something that a lot of people, like, I study this and we do this all the time. So we're gonna go here to share my screen again. Boy, I'm sharing a lot. So one of the things you want to know is in this whole recruiting process is, if somebody's recruiting you. I'm looking at the 22 class. Matter of fact, let me just go to player search. Okay. Actually being on a recruiting site, it's one of the sites that college coaches use, right? And we talk about this a lot with our service. So, safe using my own son, right? How am I going to make the decision to pick the right college, right? Here are offers that he has. I want you to look at something, and I don't know if you guys can see it and how close it is, but when I look at Arizona, there's a 5 and a 2 commit over there, right? So when I look at their roster outlook, in this class, of the 21 class, they just took 2 freshman running backs. They got, last year, they had 3 freshmen, and remember, that year did not count. So right now at the University of Arizona, they're sitting with 5 running backs. 5. When these kids graduate, those 2 will be added to these 3 who played a season that did not count. So they have 5 running backs in their room, plus a sophomore, 6, 7 running backs. Even though he has the offer, that's a school that I would be slow on. Colorado, they have 8. They have 8. 4 freshmen. They didn't take one in 21, or haven't yet. I don't know what's going to happen in February. They didn't take one. So these guys next year, when they play, will be sophomores. These will be juniors. Junior will be seniors. Senior will be gone. Maybe they take one. So this whole recruiting thing is about numbers. So when we start talking about a service versus, I work with this trainer and he's helping me, if he's not sitting down doing numbers to help understand where guys are on with numbers, then you don't understand. Then they can't help you with the recruiting process, because everything, and even more so right now with COVID, is coming down to numbers, right? It's this numbers game of how many scholarships we have left. Talking with Fresno State the other day, I know for the 22 class, Fresno has 13 scholarships. 13. So not a lot. I mean, look at University of Washington. My son said, I want to go to Washington. They got 10 running backs on their roster. 10. They bringing in 2 now. They already have 4. freshmen this year didn't count. They had 3 sophomores, a junior, and a senior. They got 10. SC just got a guy from Texas in the portal. They took one right here. He's in the portal. Boom. They got 8. So this whole recruiting game is about understanding numbers and where the need is, and then finding out where you are first. Finding out, am I a Division I guy? Am I a Division I AA guy? Where am I? You know, if I find out, as I tell the parents all the time, then we can manage expectation, and we can do it a lot quicker than, you know, waiting until your senior year and trying to figure out that, you know, hey, I'm really not D1, or I'm really a 1 AA guy, and I need to understand that, you know, like, you know, and I just wanted to show you, even in a smaller school, Tyler plays, he's an athlete or wide receiver. Cal Poly, they just took Zion Hall, one of my clients, and T. Griffin, and then from there they don't have athletes. You know, athlete is a position on here, but it's just where they can play, right? Fresno has 4 athletes. They took 4 guys as athletes, which means they're going to play them wherever. So they got 8, what is it, 4 new guys, commits, right? So just a little tutorial on how this recruiting game goes with numbers and understanding the number, and how that goes. Okay. I sure can. I'm gonna put this in here for you, Miss Bridget. MP dash elite 10.com. Oh, there's a website. Let's go to that website and we got you. Yep. So, prep schools. This has been a crazy question for me last couple of weeks, and this morning I did a ton of research on prep schools. I want to talk about prep schools real quickly before I close down. You had better know that you are a prep school kid. Mom, postgraduate prep school is no joke. Mom, dad, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, you definitely want to make sure that when you're dealing with prep schools, you know your kid. And I'm gonna tell you, for the most part, I find that most people really don't know their kid. Okay, and you better know that your kid. Most of the prep schools that I have did some research on here in the last couple of days and today are military based, all boys. Um, they're on the East Coast, most of them. And I would say the one you want to make sure that they're not so new that the housing is all tore up and they don't have funding and all that stuff. The older ones, Binghamton, Hargrave, a number of those schools, I would tell you want to make sure if you're going to use prep, if you're going to use prep and do something with prep, you better understand one thing. You got to understand your kid. You better understand if they can handle that military mindset. They're going to be clear across the country for 6 months. And that's it. I'm going to give you that side before I give you the good side. The good side is that they don't lose a year. Academically, if they were like a 2.8, 3.0, they can be a 3.4 or 4.0 because they're gonna really get some good academic help. And they can get recruited, and they don't, again, they don't lose a year. It's like a post grad. They get 6 more months of football. And on the East Coast, they're going to pick up, even being a California kid, they may pick up more schools on the East Coast, like your Rhode Islands, Rutgers, Connecticut. They're going to get schools from that side because they're going to get to see them more than we would anyway, on the West Coast. I would say you need to plan with college coaches that you might be talking to prior to going, just like JC. I wouldn't tell a kid in JC right now to go to JC unless he knows, hey, I talked to University of Washington or Pac-12 or whatever school and say, hey guys, I'm going JC. I was a qualifier. I know you guys don't have the scholarship numbers. I'm going to JC. This is my plan. Coach, is there an opportunity you think for me if I go JC for a year, you guys to come, and scoop me up, or that scholarship will be available? Yes. Okay. Those are conversations before I go to junior college I would have, before I go to prep I would have, because you can go to prep for 6 months, out of sight, out of mind on the East Coast, and now you only get in schools that way, and you go, hey, I went, I buried it for 6 months, I hated it, it snowed, it's freezing cold, I want to get back west. Now you come back west, and everybody goes, yeah, man, where were you? Oh, I was in prep. Here's my film. You got to start that whole process over again. So you got to make sure that you're having conversations, or with the prep, that they have a great relationship with college coaches, and maybe from the East Coast to the Midwest, that they know some schools and you're okay with that. But you got to know, because every school I looked up, definitely Christian, military base. If your kid is not super disciplined and that's not what they want, hey man, it can be rough. It can be very rough, because it's unlike college. It's another year of high school or 6 months of high school, but it is very, very, very structured, very structured. So I have a list of those that I'm working on right now. Yeah, so post grad with football, I looked at a number of different schools, and I could tell you, like, schools came up. It was crazy. Like this school, uh, Milford Academy. You know, you talking about schools like, I mean, school been around since 1916. Uh, I went to athletics and looked. I mean, this is an old, old school. They've got guys, on to Miami, Syracuse, Marshall. They got some guys. 2019 offensive MVP. But the scope of everything that's here is going to be a lot different. I mean, you can find these schools. They're on the East Coast, and I just put in postgraduate schools with football programs. IMG came up. School called Steel City Preparatory Academy. I saw it. Uh, you know, from the picture, that didn't impress me. Yeah, I mean, come on, big fella, like really. Uh, so there's a reason they're at prep. You know, um, I'll tell you the other one that my boy Crump might know, and you might hear of. I think it's called, yeah. So, I looked at Fort Union, very much so a very popular school. But when you look at Fort Union Academy, post-secondary school, it's no joke. It's military, right? Like if your kid ain't ready for that, uh, you got to understand it now. This is who they playing, and so this is how I find it. I look at the school, and I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, uh, they like to talk about who they have. that have gone there. Eddie George. They've had a number of, uh, you know, they've had a number of guys that went to the program, but they're not. This is what they're putting out. The Eddie George went to their program. They got a lot of guys. So we're talking about prep. You gotta have that conversation. And this school ain't down the street, right? These schools are a little ways out there. I think Fort Union is Virginia. Yeah, Fort Union is in Virginia. So, I'm hearing a lot of people, oh, well, what about prep? What about prep? Make sure your kid is ready for prep. I will say that. Make sure your kid is really, really ready for prep and the prep school lifestyle and what that is. And so, anybody who wants information on prep, and you want to use that post-secondary, postgraduate, and not waste that year because we didn't have football or what have you, I can definitely be your liaison, your front man, whatever you want to call it, by calling those schools, um, and we'll go there. Okay. So yep, yep. So um that's it for me today, man. I thank you guys for the questions. You definitely can find me at carecruits.com. We definitely are currently looking for class of 2023, 24 kids to sign up. We usually work with about 20. I usually work personally about 20, 25 kids per class. And right now, this year, without football, I will tell you that it is imperative that you probably should get with somebody working uh, with a service, so we can start the process with your kid. The earlier, the better. And when we do that, we help your kids. Um, we help your kids get where they need to be. And again, as I say to everybody, you want to work with a service that's going to help you find out where your kid is immediately, as fast as possible, so we can manage expectation on where they're going to go, okay, and how that process is going to go. So again, that's the website. My phone number is there, but I will put it here. Give me a call. In spite of what everybody says, I will answer my phone at some point. I will call you back. Shut up, Crump. Um, have a great day. God bless you.